Welcome to the Future of Learning Design Studio at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. This week, 60 educators from around the world are participating in a design charrette, using design thinking to look at the future of learning, given our understanding of the forces of globalization, research in the mind and brain, and the digital revolution and their influence on teaching and learning. A charrette, borrowed from the world of architecture, is an intensive design process that is collaborative, where designers, in this case 60 educators, propose draft solutions to problems in the field. There are many design processes out there, and for this charrette we adapted a process from the area of appreciative inquiry, where participants spend some time discovering the value of what already exists and looking closely at what needs to change, dreaming and envisioning what might be, designing an action plan, and sharing what can be. Through the process, we used a variety of methods and tools for design thinking. Given the methods and pace we were working at, we knew this experience would be new for many participants, and we asked them to immerse themselves fully in the process by being open, silencing their inner critic, suspending disbelief. We asked them to stop talking and start making, make prototypes and iterate their ideas multiple times, be generous and flexible, and think on their feet. For the 2014 charrette, we decided to look at the dilemma of equality, equitable, and just education for all learners. All humans learn, yet as educators we continue to struggle with the definitions and implementations of equality, equitable, and just education for each member of our global community. Although this has been our eternal search, today's changing society invites us to think of new ways in which we can look at quality, equity, access, and justice for the future of education. What are some of these new ways? How do we support diverse learners from diverse contexts to optimally make sense of and navigate this world? How does what we know and our learning about globalization, the digital revolution, and mind-brain research influence our designs and actions? How are our future actions particular to diverse contexts and learners? Looking at this idea out of context makes them large and unwieldy, but looking at these ideas with a view of a particular context at least allows us to start thinking about solutions in small and specific ways. It also gives us the opportunity to bridge theory and practice at the future of learning. How can we take what we're learning through the FOL Institute and put it into practice? We invited a group of educators and members of community organizations from Portland, Maine, to share with us their context and dilemmas around providing a quality, equitable, and just education for their very diverse population. The designers had access to a variety of artifacts, videos, images, and text from the Portland, Maine context. They also had interviews from stakeholders and spoke to many stakeholders in person. Using a variety of design thinking tools, they surfaced patterns and insights from the context and identified an area their team would like to work on. They created an initial proposal statement that went through multiple iterations over the 4 days. Physical models and prototypes helped them think through ideas and communicate their thinking, and the team shared these ideas with stakeholders and each other. Reflection was a big part of the process, both throughout and at the end of the charrette. Through a daily structure of revisiting the work done, reflecting and assessing how to relaunch, participants wove their thinking and their learning from the larger institute into the particularities of their design. Through video reflections and a final share-out, they shared how their thinking had changed through the process.
I used to think the future of learning was clear. Now I think it's not so simple.
I used to think that problems were local, but now sadly I confirm that are global.
I used to think we lacked focus in planning for the future of learning at the school I work at, but at the end of this week I think messiness and breadth perhaps has a vision of its own.
I used to think globalization, digital revolution, and mind-brain research were knowledge, content to learn and to discuss about and to read about and to know about. But finally, I think I have some hint that they are lenses through which we look towards the world now in order to get some hints and insights into the future.
I used to wonder whether if it's possible to look at some of the intractable problems of our age and begin to unravel them collectively. And I really do see how design, given to a group of compassionate learners and thinkers, allows for us to collectively begin to look at these issues and start developing not solutions, but a sense of agency around them.
I used to think that design was a very fixed and permanent process. Now I know that it's fluid, you can dare, you can dream, and you can continue to reflect and do. And I used to think teachers were coaches, facilitators. Now I know that they are also designers.
I used to think that expertise needed to come from outside my school community, but now I think the most valuable expertise we have is our own. We're all designers.
I used to think I was not capable of designing, and now I think that trust, guidance, and teamwork, and thank you to Sharon and to Bert, it is the clue, and it's possible.
I used to think it was about finding answers, now I think it's about asking the right questions.
I used to think that we had to learn first, and that led to the ability to think productively. Now I think that's backwards, and that thinking is the feedstock for learning.
I used to think that the product is the most important thing and we have to keep the product oriented. And now I think that the process of thinking, sharing, collaborating, and everything we've been doing are the most important things, and actually they empower the product and they lead to it.
I used to think of design in formal terms. Now I think of design in humanitarian terms.
I used to think that schools were places for children and teachers to learn, but now I think that they're places for families and communities to come together to solve problems.
I used to think that I didn't really have a firm grasp on the future of learning, and now after a week here I'm pretty sure I still don't. And I think that that's okay. Given this charrette, I think that that's kind of the take-home message is that's all right. Keep listening and working on it.
You're powerful, you're passionate, and watch out.